Hey everyone, this is Ali Advekili. I'm an attorney with Foley and Lardner, and I'm also here with my colleague Shavi Khan, who's an IP partner in our Boston office. Welcome to Startup Advisors. We are going to be taking on a number of issues that come up on a regular basis with startups, and we hope to provide some information that may be insightful.
Great, Alida. Thanks for the introduction and pleasure to be on this webinar or video call with you. How do most startups actually get funded? Like, what's the first round of funding look like? Where do they get that money from?
Oftentimes, no surprise, but oftentimes founders are bootstrapping, what we call bootstrapping, which is essentially they're just funding the expenses out of their own pocket as long as they can until they get enough of a momentum where they've got something, again, going back to telling a compelling story, telling someone you want to get funding from that you've got something here that's cool, different, solves a pressing problem, and therefore you need to build it, but it's a good investment. So bootstrapping, funding yourself is oftentimes the very first way that startups get funded. But right after that, or shortly in that time frame, is you oftentimes will go out to your friends and family. So your close connections, people that know you, that trust you, that believe in you, they're going to be usually your first official funding because it's a much easier sell. They already know you and trust you. So basically, all you have to do is tell them why you think this is going to work and why you think it's a good investment. But you don't have to go through the regular pitch that you would do if you were talking to someone that didn't know you. So oftentimes that very sort of first official funding, if you will, is friends and family. After the friends and family, you'll have a series of financings that'll take place after that.
Just talking about friends and family, you get to hear the word accredited investors a lot. Do friends and family have to be accredited investors, or could it just be anybody who is a friend or family who has even $1,000 or $5,000 to contribute to the startup?
Well, you raise a really good topic, Shabi, because I think what gets lost sometimes in the shuffle of trying to get financing and get things done is losing sight of who it is you're going out to seek investment from. You know, the concept of accredited investor, it's really driven by the securities laws, and it's the Federal Securities Act that has a definition of what an accredited investor is, and ultimately it was put in place to help protect investors. So you had a certain threshold of a person that had the ability to protect themselves more than someone that didn't. And that threshold primarily was driven by, how much money did they have? What were their assets? Because the thought was, and still is, if you have a lot of money or if you have a lot of assets, you're obviously more likely to be able to withstand the loss of one particular investment. And so therefore, the thinking is if you meet that definition, you're less likely to need as much protection as someone that doesn't have all those resources. Whereas the loss of an investment by someone who's making 60 or 70,000 a year might be much more catastrophic than someone who's making millions a year investing the same amount. They can probably withstand that loss. So it's really critical to go after accredited investors and to do some diligence to ensure you've got the right documentation and provisions so that you're really only going and taking investments from accredited investors, because you have more leeway with regard to the various exemptions you need to file to be able to sell your securities on the private market to investors. If you try to go after unaccredited investors, and you certainly can, there are exemptions that allow you to do that, but the threshold and the bar and the hoops you have to jump through are much higher, so that you have to do a lot more and give those people a lot more information so they have more information to be able to make an informed decision with regard to their investment.